How's it going, guys? I'm Mike. If you catch me in game or on one of my socials, I go by Hawk. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of speculating, actually, because we've got that big summer update that is going to be coming for Jump Space, and I'm kind of wanting to talk about what I've seen, what kind of what would check out with things we know already about in the roadmap and stuff. And I've got the roadmap pulled up here in OBS, as well as the recent short that Keepsake Groove put up live for us to check out. And it's got some juicy tidbits. So we're going to take a look at that. Now, bear in mind, this is all speculation. I don't know anything specific for the most part about most of this stuff. The devs have not shared any of this with me yet. When I know and I'm at liberty to talk about it, then I will. But I do know that we're going to be getting a dev live stream soon. They were saying 2 weeks from time of the last dev live stream, and that should be this week, assuming Friday more than likely. This is, I think it's the 18th, 16th. What is today? Is the 18th, yeah. So today is the 18th, and yeah, so this Friday we should be getting another dev update live stream Q&A, but I don't think it's set in stone. It could be next week, so don't hold me to that. But yeah, theoretically, this week we should be finding out for sure a lot of the details on this stuff. But there's probably more for them to share. This is going to be a huge update, so I'm not sure how much we're going to learn in this next dev update. I do believe probably a lot of the speculation is going to become irrelevant at that point. But I'm excited about it, so I want to talk about it, and that's what we're going to do with this video. At any rate, I do have the dev stream pulled up here. What I'm going to go ahead and do is mute the background music from the game, and I'm going to pull up my screen share here. Now, this was the short that Groove just recently put out, and let's go ahead and play it. I'm going to make sure you guys have audio. Now, this video is unscripted. We're just going to roll with this one and see how it goes.
We're finally adding the next ship to Jump Space, and we just today released a mini update with lobby browser improvements. But anyway, the new ship, the Hammerhead. It's the biggest yet and has 4 slots for special weapons like the new minigun or missile launchers. We're also remaking ship combat and how health works, so expect a lot of good changes to the ship experience. You can test the Hammerhead and all the new changes in June. More info to come. Oh, and that same update will finally let you save your favorite weapons and not lose them. We've heard your feedback. So new ship, new update, June. We're finally...
Okay, guys, so all of that seems awesome, but there are some things that I want to point out. Now, first of all, when I had my conversation with Groove on the interview that I was able to do with him, thank you so much for doing that, Groove. He was able to confirm that the weapons are going to have different hues, different colors potentially that we could customize. I don't know if that's going to be customized on the weapon or if the colors are going to be like rarities and stuff. I do know that the mark system is being done away with. They've confirmed that the mark system is going to be gone from both components and weapons. That's being completely overhauled. We also know that the health system is being completely overhauled, and you can kind of, let me see if I can, there. Okay, so you can see that the health system is pretty different here. You'll notice that we've got these red pips here, plus 1 inside the Omega symbol. This looks like it's the Hammerhead because there's no translation found. So when they pulled up the Catamaran and they pulled up the Dart, it usually says the name up there. The Hammerhead, last I knew, didn't have the name up there, so I'm assuming this is for the Hammerhead. Plus, you'll notice there's 3 pips here, but room for more. Last I knew, the Hammerhead had 6 pips all told, counting the one inside the Omega symbol, although the Catamaran did only have 3. So it's possible this is a cat, but I do believe it's probably the Hammerhead. Now, looking at these are in the shape of a person, and they have a health symbol, you know, across through the middle there. These are more likely going to be revives. Now, are they self-revives? Are they your total team revives? Are they, I don't know. But previously, self-revives would damage the ship. And they've talked about changing that system because they've said that, frankly, there's not a lot of risk involved with that usually. Normally, you know, you can go down a ton of times and it's not that big a deal. Like the on foot is not nearly as scary as damage to the ship. So overall, they were talking about reworking that. And I think that's what this is going to be, guys. This is going to be some kind of revive system. I don't know if it's going to be self-revives or revives total. We've got 3 here. I also wonder if like it's a findable or craftable item. Could you craft more revives? Could you find more revives and run? Possibly. I don't really know. Maybe you just start off with 3 and you can only revive 3 times total for the entire team, and then after that you're out, and then you've got I don't know, mission critical problem. Maybe they have a way of dealing with that, or maybe it just means game over. I'm not sure. I don't know. And maybe you can find more revives as you go. Maybe this is like a specific item that you can find in game. I'm not entirely sure. I am eager to find out, but I do believe these are revives of some kind because they were talking about overhauling that system anyway. So that would check out. Now, they've said, we were debating whether or not this would be shields and then this line here would be health. Now, it was confirmed by Groove to me that this line, regardless of compression on YouTube or whatever it's showing you, this is white. Same as the color here for the name of the ship. And then, yeah, this is definitely the Hammerhead. Look at how many shield units it's got. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in fact. Okay, so that's 7. I would tend to think that that's a Hammerhead, but I could be incorrect. So now that we've seen this, these icons were not here before. Last I was speculating on this new health gauge. The health bar is humongous, but you'll notice that those shields seem to drain very quickly. Let's just watch that here in the video. And then you can see, but the ship was taking a fair amount of damage as well. You notice once they got the shields down, the health started to drop pretty quickly. So they were obviously taking a lot of fire. I don't know if they were doing something in the dev end or what the case may be. But you can see the shields dropped and then the health started to take damage. So we still have to go through the shields before the health starts to take damage. They also said that they're going to be drastically overhauling the way components go critical and the way fires and things start on the ship now. Do you start getting fires before the shields go down now, or do they not happen before the shields go down now? Because I know before previously they would happen just randomly, even if the shields were up, which a lot of people complained about. So I don't know. I do know that the ship combat is getting a complete overhaul. The engineering role is going to be very different, and the way things function is going to be pretty drastically different. So this icon is very different. We've got the Omega symbol here that Groove's been calling it the Omega symbol. I likened it to Iris, but he's right. It's more like an Omega symbol. So we've got this Omega symbol here. We've got these red dots. Don't know what they're doing right now. We've got, this is obviously the ship's core health. This is going to be potentially revives. Materia icons are the same as always. These are obviously our shield units. Does that mean that there are 7 places to plug in a shield unit? I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work. I believe there were at least 6 spaces on the Hammerhead where you could place a shield unit. So, yeah, they said that the Hammerhead is going to have more health and more shield, but definitely more health. So the green bar was, from what I've seen in previous speculation, the green bar, or the core health on the Hammerhead, was drastically larger than that on the Catamaran, which was very evident. So, obviously the Hammerhead is going to be very tanky and very beefy. I'm pretty excited about this system here. We know that we're getting a new special weapon, which will be this Gatling type weapon. Think of it, I'm thinking probably something along the lines of the Gatling assault turrets, probably, but I don't know, maybe not as ammo hungry. I don't really know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know details yet, but we do know that because of the drastic cooldown on a lot of these weapons, like your missile launchers and your Lance railguns, they were talking about swapping it out for something that would have more of a pew-pew. And so you're going to get a new component, which is going to be that Gatling special weapon. Maybe we'll get more. I don't know. I have no confirmation on any of that. But you've got these 4 slots on the ship where you can put special weapons. There's no assault turrets and there's no pilot cannon. I'm really curious to see how this works. I do know that the bottom of the ship is a bit of a blind spot. There's nothing that you could shoot from underneath, unless you go down there with a railgun. There are walkways. So that's always an option. But also, most of the ships are going to be flying past and not targeting specifically underneath, especially if you position correctly, so it should be fine. I am curious to see what's going to happen here. And they said, as far as the turrets, there's like on each side, one of the gunner stations has basically a control station. There's going to be 2 command stations on each side, so you could man all 4 guns. Like, you could just park and then everybody man a gun, which would be fun. That'll be fun to try out. But also, if you only have a 3-man team, one of the command stations is going to be capable of manning 2 of the guns on each side. It would be overridden if somebody sat in the second combat station. But yeah, overall, you're going to have the potential to run all 4 guns with just 2 people running the guns, maybe somebody piloting and somebody engineering. All right, guys, so while watching back the video, the speculation video here, I was able to notice during editing that there was actually something that I forgot to mention that I really wanted to show you guys that I think is pretty interesting. I'm going to go ahead and click here. I've got the dev live stream pulled up. This is just a screen of my YouTube right now, but you can see here this combat station is very different from the one on the Catamaran. The one on the Catamaran kind of encloses you. This one's wide open. Like, you sit in this chair, you can see straight out this window. You wouldn't be able to do that on the combat station on the Catamaran. This is drastically different. You can see that both of the combat stations on this side are just like that, and the same on the other side. They're wide open. They're just basically a chair with a combat station set up here. You're not being enclosed. And let me see if I can fast forward to where the Catamaran was, and kind of show you guys what you were looking at here. Let it do its buffering thing in it real for a second. But anyway, yeah, so basically the catamaran was pretty different in the combat station, because you can see here, and here's a good look at it. This is also a good glimpse of the scope that I'm going to be talking about that was on the Bulldog that they were running. You can see that this is drastically larger than any scope we've got on the Bulldog currently. This is marked as a Mark 0 Bulldog, but they did say the Mark's being done away with. But anyway, moving forward here, you can see with the combat station, and I believe Coleones actually steps into the combat station here. And but you can see that it encloses you. And then, yeah, so basically if we scroll back here, you can see that shot of it, basically that, let me see there. This basically encloses. This comes back, this comes forward, and basically it locks you in place. So once you get stuck in this combat seat, you can't see anything around you. Like you're locked in on all sides. All you can see is the combat station itself. That is not the case with the one on the Hammerhead, like I just showed you guys, because with these here, as you can see, they're wide open. This is a drastic overhaul in the design of the combat station. Now, I've speculated and I've made ships before, designs for fun for Keepsake, just fan art, showing like combat stations inside of like little bubbles. Like think World War II P5 1D Mustang cockpits and stuff like that, where you could put the combat station inside of this big bubble where it could just see all around. Just for kicks and fun, giggles. This is kind of in vein of that, because like you're planted right by this giant window and you've got full view. So that's kind of cool. I thought it was a nice little tidbit and I wanted to include it in the video. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like when we get our hands on it and get to have some fun with it. But overall, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be very powerful. So I'm kind of curious, was that going to work? Now, look at that iron sight, that sight there, that circle sight there, that is completely different from anything else we've had on the shotgun, the Maw, before. This is clearly a shotgun. This is going to be very different. Now, I'm speculating, me and Groove have talked about maybe adding weapon customization one day in the future, and I'm starting to wonder if this is it, because like I've seen also a pretty nice scope that looks much better than the ones we got on the current Bulldog that they were running in the dev live stream, the last one. And so the sights are different. They said the Mark system's being done away with. They're telling us that you'll be able to keep all your weapons, but there's not a locker. Are we getting a loadout system? That's kind of where my thought process is. Mind you, this is purely speculation. I don't know anything for sure, but are we getting like a loadout system? And I think of maybe with weapon customization, like you'll be able to customize your weapon to suit your personal tastes. Like, could you swap out the scope if you want? Maybe you want that hollow. Maybe some people prefer the hollow on the Javelin, but maybe some people would rather have a scope. Could you swap it out for what you prefer? Also, there are a couple of different ways that I could think of us going with this very easily. Like, are we going to do like the component system where you find components, bring them back, and then now you have this scope, or now you have this extended magazine. Maybe you have this. There are a couple of different ways that you could go that route and have some fun with it. But also, we also have the augment system for the player traits, right? For the suits. Could you like find different augmentations for the weapons that you could find maybe in run and give us something else that's a collectible, something that you could find in run, something else to work towards. And then you can use those to upgrade your weapons. And maybe you can't use a weapon until after you've found it in run one time. I don't know. Or maybe you have to purchase it or unlock it. Maybe there's a schematic you have to find. Think of like the galaxy map chart fragments that we have to locate in game. There's a lot of different ways that we could go with this and add all kinds of depth to the game and give us this loadout system where you will always have the weapons you want, right? You're never going to lose them. We've already been given the option where we don't drop our weapons when we go down. Are we going to be given the option to be able to find them, craft them, and then make different options? I'm also seeing like we've got an assembler back here. Are we going to be given the option to craft weapons back in the hangar? Because that's new. That's not been there before. That by Buzz over here. So are we going to have the option to craft whatever weapons we want to go into a run with? You know, and Mark systems being done away with. So it's not like you're going to be, you know, worried about whether or not you're crafting a Mark 0 or a Mark 3. And if you can craft add-ons like scopes and things, that would be kind of cool. I don't know. Maybe this is like a customization table where you customize your loadout. Like this is all purely speculation, but I'm really hyped for the next big update. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to have a lot of things to see. Now, when the dev stream happens, like I said, I think it's going to be this Friday, but I don't take that as gospel because we're not confirmed at this point. I do plan to watch it, obviously. I'm going to be watching the dev stream, but I am probably going to I'm not going to do like a watch the stream with me. Like I've thought about doing that in the past, but honestly, the algorithm can be so vicious. I'd rather that the devs are getting all the algorithm hit they can possibly have, which is going to mean, you know, I don't want to take from that. So if I'm telling people, hey, come watch me watch the stream as we do a live reaction, I don't want to do that to the devs. I think that would take away from them, and I'd rather give them that time to shine, let them have that. And then afterwards, we'll do my usual breakdown video, and we'll talk about all the highlights and all the things. Maybe we'll revisit this speculation video and say, oh, we got this right, or we didn't get this right. And if you guys have any ideas what you think is going on here with these things, please let me know. Put it down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's chat. Let's have some fun. I mean, this is just for kicks. Obviously, we'll be learning more, hopefully on this Friday. And at that point, things will get confirmed as to yay or nay, and we'll be able to know things for sure. Maybe there'll be more that we'll have to find out. Maybe there'll be another dev live stream another 2 weeks from now. I'm not sure, but at any rate, guys, thank you so much for watching. These are my thoughts on it right now. I think maybe we're getting a weapon customization system, maybe not. Maybe we'll be having some kind of craftable ability in the hangar. And I really think that the hammerhead's going to be cool. I think that we've got the shield system, which is going to be... I know it's getting overhauled. I don't really know what to expect, though. Do the shields regenerate after you stop taking damage? That could be interesting, with potential of getting damaged from going down enough times. I don't know. But at any rate, throw your speculations down in the comments. I know that the shield system's getting overhauled. The weapon system's getting overhauled. There's a lot of other systems that are probably going to change. If all these systems change, then the artifacts are probably going to have to change pretty drastically. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do change drastically, which is part of the reason why I've been holding off on doing the artifact video that people have requested. I have put a lot of work into that, and I intend to eventually bring you guys that content, a guide for all of the artifacts and what I think is worth taking, what's not, what's fun. But that's going to have to hold off for now because I do think we're going to get an overhaul to that system. But in the meantime, guys, I hope you're all having a good one. Be sure to check out Keepsake Games. As always, they're linked below, and you guys can check them out both in their Discord, in their YouTube channel, etc. Click all the things there and check them out. Show some support and love for the devs. And then and when we come closer time to them doing their dev live stream when it's confirmed, I will putting up announcements on both my Discord, YouTube, and Twitch, and that way you guys can check it out there. At any rate, guys, I hope everybody's having a good one, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later.